Well, yeah, Western coming up. Pretty big game, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Just given how tight the positions are in that middle of the table, we're desperate for points, so we want a result for sure.
With everything that's going on this season, mate, to get into a final spot just means so much for them.
Yeah, it would. It's a little bit cliche for me to say, but it's definitely relevant, is that I just want to give some stability to the group at the moment, especially the playing group. They've just had a lot of change. It's been a very interesting and difficult season for them in so many ways, to start so well and then to have such a lean period in the middle there, and then I've come in and we're trying to change some things. So there's a lot of change. We're trying to take it one game at a time and just see where we end up, but we definitely want to make sure that our focus at the moment is on improvement.
When you've got a bloke like Jack bringing up 250, it's probably not hard to inspire the boys.
No, not at all. We've got a lot of, I keep talking about it, in-house, but I don't mind talking about it, out there in the open either. We've got some great spirit in that dressing room, and it kind of typifies, Queensland, if I'm honest. That Queensland spirit's something that we're trying to really be big on. And, Jackie Hingett, he's a great asset to the club. He's someone I played against a long time ago, so it shows that I'm not too old. And but great guy, great player, great guy, and he's much loved by his peers in the group. So, it's a milestone, big milestone for him, but the focus is still on the team first. So hopefully we can get a result.
What a great, he was just talking about why he has stayed at the Brisbane Roar and how keen he is to get the team back to the glory days when obviously he won 2 titles. That speaks, I guess, to what the club means to him. What does that do for the group and for you when you hear that sort of stuff?
I find it inspiring. I mean, the context for me, being a player at opposition teams, in the early parts of the A-League, Sydney FC and Newcastle Jets, I remember coming to Brisbane. I still call it Lang Park, the old Lang Park special. It's a special arena and a lot of in different sporting codes, but even in football, that Ange era, and players like Jackie that were a part of that. Amazing thing to witness from the outside, and I imagine it would have been a pretty special place to be when it was happening, and stadium full of Queensland fans. So the fact that he stayed, the fact that he's loyal, the fact that he cares that much, I find it inspiring. And we want to work towards bringing back those type of days. And to be honest, I know how difficult that is at the moment. It's been a tricky period for Brisbane over the last few years, but the only way is forward, and it starts with small improvements and trying to get our environment right.
You must enjoy having that headache at the selection table that you must have at the moment. Apart from Neville, you look like you're at full strength. That's a good position to be in for you and for the team, isn't it? Because you've got so much strike, so many creative players that you can't spark.
Yeah, it is. And I've been here 3 weeks. I think we've scored 8 goals. There's definitely some attacking weapons there. It's an interesting squad. I still feel like it's 1 or 2 windows away from being balanced. It's just there's a few similar type players in positions and probably lacking in some other areas. But what I love about the group at the moment is there's players coming back from long-term injuries and still needing minutes, but they're getting minutes in games at the moment, and so it feels to me like we're building towards something which is good. And it's always nice to have selection headaches, because I've been in this position as an A-League head coach and not had those headaches because everyone's injured. So I'd much prefer to be dealing with unhappy players than dealing with injured ones, that's for sure.
I guess Floren's a great example, isn't it? Obviously he was starting before he's had an injury back, and you can use him off the bench if you wish, or you can start him. Yeah,
correct. He's playing himself, I think. Flo and also, Marco Rojas, they're playing themselves now into a position where they're probably close to a start, which is a nice headache to have, because the calibre of those 2 players is very high. But then, the A-League is an intense league, and it's a league that you need to have a good level of fitness to be able to compete. So for them too, it's about building, but it's nice to have them back in the fray, and gives me certainly some nice dilemmas.
Western coming off a heartbreaker the other day. You guys playing for Jackie, it's a pretty great battle, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And Western, it's funny, when you're down the bottom of the ladder, I was at Perth Glory when they were, I inherited a team that was, heavily injured and down the bottom of the ladder. And I remember those times, it feels like, everything goes against you. And I think that their game the other day kind of, epitomises what they're going through. They've played well for most part of that game against a really good victory team that's, star-studded lineup. So, for Western to be in that game so long and then to lose it the way they did, it just shows that they're a really good team, that we shouldn't underestimate them, and we need to be at our best to get the result. And I think the the ladder and the table and the amount of points that they have doesn't really isn't a true reflection of what their squad is and how they can be on their day.
Bit of exciting talk about expansion as well lately. I guess like Auckland, Canberra. What do you make of the full talk?
Yeah, great for the league. I think not long being a coach, only 6-8 years into my journey type thing. It's nice for players. More clubs mean more opportunity for young Australian players and New Zealand players to get minutes. And for me, that's a big thing. We don't play enough football, competitive games, and so if there's more people being exposed, it's going to make our national team stronger. I just hope that the league, in a financial situation and in a structural situation, can grow and can be sustainable, because I think that's also really important. But yeah, it's a positive for sure.